Hi there.
Good afternoon, Esco.
Hi, good afternoon, David.
Yeah, let's wait for a couple of minutes for Darren.
He seems to be around. He's been making edits, so I assume he's just experiencing technical difficulties or went out to fill his water glass or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a meeting organized this afternoon, but I didn't have the link myself for my own Teams meeting. That was a strange technical difficulty.
You mean you haven't received the email for this meeting, or?
It was a meeting. I sent the Teams link, but the mail server apparently stripped out the links from the field where I put in the link. So it has become a plain text. So
Yeah.
nobody had the right link anymore. Interesting.
Okay.
Open source email client, so maybe fix it there.
Okay. Good morning, Darren. We cannot hear you.
So I did see Darren pop up and the window blinking, but no sound actually.
No sounds. I dropped him a message, but apparently he's still struggling, I guess.
Okay.
He sends audio issues, reconnecting. Darren, can you hear us?
I'll just repeat the message on the chat. See if that helps.
Yeah, okay. I propose let's do this. I try to kick it off meanwhile he can try to solve the audio issues. Let me, no document available. What does it mean? Okay, I cannot share screen. That's possible. Yes. Window, this one. Okay, you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Works.
So this is the interim meeting. I need to, read again the note well. By participating in IETF, you agree to follow the IETF process policy. You're aware that the contribution is covered by patent or patent application and owned, controlled by you or your sponsor must disclose the factor. Your attendee to any IETF activities, IETF meetings, interims, or others, the record may be public. Personal information are linked with the privacy statement. Then note really well, this is kind of collaborative, constructive environments. Try to behave proper and focus on the technical discussion. Must not engage in harassment while at IETF meeting, virtual meetings, or interims. I think that's about it for the note and note well. For the next step, I suggest we do as what we did for the past 2 interim meetings. I don't know this time whether ESCO or DETS will take the initiative.
Hey everybody, I'm here now.
Okay, finally, Darren.
Works. Good.
Great.
Well, through my cell phone anyway.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So your laptop has some problem of that?
Yeah, it didn't like playing with the audio connection, I guess. It had some issues on it constantly, so that's okay. We'll sort it out.
Anyway. Yeah, I just read the note well, note
Great.
really well. Yeah, and now we can start. Yeah.
Yeah, I could just share the screen again for issues, if that helps.
Thanks, Esco.
Pull requests or issues.
Okay. Yeah, it's coming.
Yep, there it is.
Okay, great.
So we can have a look. There are some new things. I added some PRs here. So this was addressing some of the open issues. I think these are basically 3 here. Oh, there's also a very recent one from Darren. So we could go through those.
I think I got it right this time.
Okay. Or there's a new version of that one. Yeah, okay, MO based. And then the issues, yeah, there's also some new issues I added there. I think this is starting from this one up, 147 up and up, basically. So we could also go through the issues. I don't have a preference here. So it's maybe good to look at new things that we have.
What do you mean?
Okay, then let me start here. So this was based on the review comment by Fernando, and also comments within the working group actually that we need to sync up with 4861. I made this one basically looking at min router advertisement interval and max router advertisement interval. And then later I realized, hey, there was also some more comments in Fernando's mail, but I will check that later. So those are not included yet. So for other parameters. So here we could look at maybe the changes. I'll make it a bit larger. Is that okay like this?
I can see it.
Okay.
Okay for me. Yeah.
I mean, I can check here on the other display if it's visible, by the way. So. Oh, yeah, that looks good. So the idea here was, one of the main comments was, well, we have to remove the RA beacon and just call it what it is. So what it is defined in the RC. I think it was 4861 here, defining this as periodic unsolicited multicast RA message. So that's a bit of a mouthful, but that's now the term being proposed here. So that means this RA beacon can also be removed here. And basically the change here is that it's not sent after fixed time, but it is using the neighbor discovery protocol parameters to send it. So there's always a little bit of randomness in there. And that's basically the next part down here. So instead of a single beacon interval, there is now a minimum RA interval. So this is a kind of constant name that maps to this variable here, which is basically configurable in neighbor discovery. And there's also this constant, the max RA interval. And that is basically the value for configuring the parameter that has a similar name here. And the values are now chosen so that the average is 3 minutes that we had before. So that's the proposed solution, and that basically leads to this quantity. So it's also used in the specification. So we have an average RA interval, which is 3 minutes. So it's not something you can configure, but it's rather is a result of the previous choices here. And that's what I'm also trying to explain here, basically, that it's calculated from the chosen parameters. So I think this is the main change. So this new terminology and the new name for a constant as well.
And sorry, I might have missed it, but the 154 value was derived from what again?
Yeah, so it's a requirement that the minimum is set to basically 75% of the maximum,
okay,
or lower.
Okay, good.
Also fine, but not higher at least. So, so I think this is the choice that's still allowed by RFC 4861, and
okay,
as close as possible to the 3 minutes that we had. So we do get some randomness now, which is good, I think.
Okay.
So not everyone will multicast at exactly the same time then.
Clear that's actually valuable, because the SNAC router is generally going to multicast it. I mean, the first time a SNAC router sends a multicast will be somewhat random, and so if you then further randomize the intervals, then that's just as likely to cause collisions as it is to cause spread. So once you've randomized the interval, that actually changing it each time, I think, doesn't really help. Did you, by any chance, look at Fernando's document that he's been working on? That's in last call in 6man about router lifetime stuff. I can't remember if I sent you a link to that.
Yeah, I think I might have seen it before, but I didn't actually read the document, no. But that's fairly new, so that will update the timing, possibly, or.
Yeah, it basically it explains the math a little better, and yeah, it does update the timing for various things. I believe including the intervals. But yeah, I don't. So I guess I don't remember. So just as an example, my implementation just uses this default value of, I think, 180 seconds, and it doesn't do any kind of randomization at all, and we've never had an issue with that. So just wondering why that would make sense to get into here.
I mean, generally, if you have like a power outage event and power comes back on and all the things basically start up at the same time, your intervals will essentially match. So
No, but they won't, because the router discovery time is random. I think.
Yeah, there's the initial part, which happens faster, basically, and
yeah, which by the way is only the case for us and not for other routers. So maybe that's the issue. Because the SNAC router, like normal routers, don't do router discovery because they're routers. But SNAC routers do router discovery because they're weird. So maybe that's why we're getting away with this.
Yeah, you still could have a situation that if initially it's randomized, but due to some coincidence, if you have 10 SNAC routers that are all power cycles, they end up with exactly the same period. So they will then kind of interfere with each other or be very close every time.
Well, there shouldn't be 10 SNAC routers anyway, but that's kind of a lot. Which isn't to say that you're wrong, just
yeah. Just thinking of basically if you want to put them in all kinds of consumer products, like the thread border route, and then you could end up with 10 at some point.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I don't know if we need to specify that. Speaking, we always seem to find these exciting cans of worms. So if we have multiple stub routers serving the same stub network, and in a scenario like you described, I wonder if it makes sense for us to talk about how to limit the number of those that automatically start up, because in principle, you could have a large number of devices that are capable of doing this.
For SNAC simple, I wonder if it's simpler to say nothing about this. There's a beacon interval, there's a average interval, or there's an interval, and just use it all the time.
Yeah.
I think it either pick the interval and use it all the time, keep it simple, or do what ESCO specified here and have some variability in it. The variability doesn't hurt.
Yeah, this is maybe assuming that if you have an implementation that sends arrays, it will already have this logic because it's specified.
Right.
Then you could say, well, just use it, but it's still more code in a way, more complexity than just using 3 minutes, of course.
Yeah.
So get it for free.
So where are these things like average RA interval is that coming from some other document, or is that something that you added here?
Yeah,
'Cause
these
I'm
are
not
all
finding it.
basically SNAC specific constants, like all of them in this section.
Uh-huh.
And in this case, they can be either configuration values for something in SNAC, or values that are used for, like this one, for the existing neighbor discovery protocol router advertisements. So this will basically be filled in for this parameter here.
Mhm.
But all of these are basically defined here, really. So this string you won't find, I hope, in all our documents. So it's really meant to be SNAC underscore something, but none of them had SNAC underscore. So that's why I did not add SNAC to it. So, and
Okay.
the average is just the result of computation. So there you can actually leave it out because it's not something you configure, but we had an instance where this value is being used, so the 3 minutes. So I decided to leave it in because the feature depends on the interval.
Okay. So what I'm getting here, I just had to kind of do a little bit of review in the background while you were talking. But what I'm getting here is that the new constants that you've added here, the min RA interval and the max RA interval and the average RA interval, are something that is essentially new to this document.
Right. Yeah.
So I guess given that that RFC 4861 doesn't talk about this at all, why are we inventing this here?
Yeah. So basically 4861 already says how to set min router at interval and max, but its values are wrong for SNAC. So I think it has 10 minutes for max, if I'm correct. And for SNAC, we wanted to have 3 minutes, basically, approximately. So that's why we need to say, okay, you use the same mechanism from 4861 to advertise your RAs, but instead of the 10-minute default, you use something that gets you 3 minutes average. And this is what we want to say, basically. So it's not
Okay, but
something new, but it's just saying, okay, by the way, if you're a SNAC router, then your parameters will be different from the defaults in 4861, because we want it to be faster. So that's what this says here.
okay.
That's why you need
So-
something new, at least. It could be maybe written in a simpler way, like you say, we don't use these constants here, but we just say somewhere else that, yeah, what is configured. But
okay, so sending unsolicited router advertisements. Okay, so all right, so 4861 does actually specify a random value. It does not specify an average, though, anywhere that I can see, or am I missing that?
no, that's correct, and that's why I said we could remove the average here if you want.
Okay. Yeah.
So we can do that to avoid confusion. It's just saying that if you pick these strange values, which look strange, like 154 and 206, like why would you do that? That's because you get on average 180 seconds, and that's basically the goal. So it tries to explain a bit that this is the goal, to have that on average.
Okay. All right. So if we're gonna yeah, I would say I had a similar comment actually about the Fernando's document. If it's not a constant that you're going to be using for anything, you probably shouldn't make it look like it's a constant. So average RA interval here looks like it's a constant, just like max router interval and min router interval. So yeah, so I would suggest simply adding a section here outside of the definition list, or maybe just, like, I'm not sure how you do it, but I guess probably the reason you did this the way you did is because it's actually hard to do it the way that I was about to suggest, which is just have something that explains that these are based on, you know, the math in RFC 4861. So, and then the other question is, so RFC 4861 uses min router, let's see,
Yeah. So I highlighted
min router add interval, right?
parameter name. Yeah.
Max router add interval. And so, and the reason you're using different names, what is that?
Yeah, so the thing that does not have the capitals, basically, that's a parameter, and it can have a value, and the value is then a constant, basically. So that's the constant
Okay.
you define, and that's by default. So if you have like a SNAC router that's not otherwise configured, it would have basically this 154 seconds set to this parameter here, min router add interval.
Okay, yeah, so in fact, well, let's see. So RFC 4861 defines max underscore initial underscore router underscore advert underscore interval. And, but that's not the same thing, right?
That's the initial one, you mean? Let me check 4861. Yeah, I think it's the initial one that you have. I think it's what it does is that it has basically also uses constant names with all capitals for the value, and that's basically the value will be initially it will modify the parameter. So I think you have a parameter, but that will be initially modified by this initial value, and then after that, it will revert to the configured value, and it does not have a constant for that, except I think saying that it was 600 seconds somewhere, or that's for the max. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just says that for the initial, for the,
yeah.
I mean,
the min value is 1/3 of the max, so that's 200 seconds basically. So it does have defaults there for those. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so yeah, I guess I'm finding the use of the constants here. What we're saying here is what the default values for max router add interval and min router add interval are. And so I don't see any reason to define another name, like just say that it's that it's, you know, whatever, like 154 or whatever.
Yeah, I think you can do this by taking it out of this section, I think, right? So that was the idea. So because we're not further using, well, assuming we don't further use this anywhere, this value in our protocols, then you can take it out and have it elsewhere. So it's not really constant in this case. But on the other hand, yeah, there are some similar things here. Maybe just expand it a bit so that all these timing things are actually here. So I think that's maybe part of the motivation to have it in this list. So we have a single list with all the sort of the time values there, and the original one was also in there. So
yeah, no, I mean, I'm not suggesting that this is the wrong place for it to be. It's just that it seems to me that it would be perfectly fine to just use the terms from RFC 4861 as the terms of the definition list rather than inventing new terms.
Put it here basically. Yeah, that seems good for me as well.
Okay, and then you know, maybe just in the definition list for where you have the constant average RA interval default 180 seconds, just say, maybe just say in English text average RA interval, 3 words, and then
Yeah,
explain
exactly.
that the choices for max router interval and min router interval are chosen so that the average interval will be this amount.
Right. So I
And
think
that would do the job of explaining how you derive that, which I think makes sense.
And then an implementation simply chooses something in the middle, or chooses within
Well,
that range.
it uses
As per
the random.
4861.
Yeah.
yeah, there is one instance where I found it is used to make a decision, and which is here. So it's basically calculating this valid time,
Right.
and then have a rule if it's less than the beacon period, then well, it's not included. Blah blah blah. So this is actually based on the I think this interval which I now took here as the average. So this is one place where it kind of pops up in SNAC specific protocol. And here you could say, just say the average of the 2 parameters basically. Or take the max or whatever. That I don't know. I don't know what is best here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. Yeah.
So the prefix is already deprecated there, and if there's only a small amount of time to go for its validity, then it will not be included, basically.
Yeah. I mean, it's not clear to me that we actually even need to advertise it at all after it's been deprecated. I mean, obviously we should well, I suppose no. The reason to do it is so that we can arrange for hosts to know that it's no longer that it's deprecated. And so then I would say just you could just use max RA interval there, and I think that would be fine. Like there's no real reason to have an extra constant.
I was also thinking the same. Yeah, it could work here as well. Just take the max. Okay, yeah, no, that should be good. So that I think that was the main change what we discussed. So so small changes like instead of RA beacon, it says now multicast RA message.
Yeah, I mean, there it might be good to use the term unsolicited multicast RA message because that's consistent with 4861.
Yeah, that's also here.
Oh yeah, I see you use it there.
It's periodic unsolicited. That's the exact term. So what the RFC basically says, it calls it periodic most of the time, and then at some point it says, well, these are not really periodic at all. So it's like it's periodic but non-periodic arrays. But okay.
I mean, they're periodic. It's just the period isn't fixed.
Yeah, I think it had something to explain that. Well, we call it periodic, but right, the period is not fixed. So yeah, I think this one I thought was different. Blah, let's see. Yeah, so I think okay, maybe this was specific about the beacons. Yeah, so that could put unsolicited here. Was it meant that this only is applicable to unsolicited RAs? So what if there is an
let me see
RS
about that.
There will be a unicast RA response.
Okay, so the original text. So this is in maintenance across SNAC router restart. SNAC routers may restart from time to time. When a restart occurs, SNAC router may have been advertising state to the network, which following restart is no longer required. So this behavior can cause problems because the first SNAC router no longer sees the on-link prefix that had been advertising on infrastructure as on-link. Consequently, it receives a packet to, this.
No, I was just thinking it could also apply to unicast arrays that you also don't want to write to flash if you do a unicast array which might contain a certain prefix. But yeah, I'm not sure how this was intended.
Yeah, actually reading this text, I'm not sure what it's saying to do. When a SNAC router has only flash memory with limited write lifetime, it may be appropriate to do a write to flash, may not be appropriate to do a write to flash every time an array beacon containing a prefix is set. In this case, the writer should record the set of prefixes that have been advertised on infrastructure and the maximum valid lifetime that was advertised. When should it record this? On restart, the router should assume that hosts on infrastructure link have received advertisements for any such prefixes.
Yeah, I think it's about not writing to flash every time you send an array, but do it in a more efficient way. So maybe just record, okay, if a prefix change, then you basically write to flash, okay, this is the new set. And if that stays stable, you will you don't have to write to flash again for the next many hours or days if it just remains the same. So that means only the maximum valid lifetime was recorded, and that typically doesn't change. But yeah, I was just thinking that it's yeah, so inappropriate. So this is about saying about something that the SNAC router should not do. So maybe it doesn't matter much what is here, but you could also have SNAC router that records to flash for every unicast array message and every solicited one and every unsolicited one.
Yeah, but those don't really make sense.
That would be even more inappropriate, but it's a different case.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm not even sure that this text is right anymore. Now, I don't know when the last time we looked at it was, and I don't remember. I mean, it sounds familiar, but I don't think that our implementations even do this anymore. Like, this is something that I remember from like 4 or 5 years ago when I was just kind of feeling my way around this problem. Do we in fact? Oh, right, because the difference is with the thread router, we're using a constant prefix on infrastructure per thread network. So then this is just not a huge problem anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, this also says set of prefixes. So yeah, this would typically be 1 or 0. Yeah. Maybe if you count the routes as well, then you get more.
Well, so I mean, what this seems to be saying is, well, it's not entirely clear what it seems to be saying, to be honest with you. Okay, so.
Well, this is
suppose
the
so. Let's go back to the motivation. For example, suppose there are 2 SNAC routers that have the same infrastructure link. When the first SNAC router is restarted, the second takes over providing all link prefix. Now the first router rejoins the link. It sees that the second SNAC router prefix is advertised on infrastructure link and therefore does not advertise its own. Yeah. So I mean, this is not an issue for thread, right? Because we use the XPAN ID prefix on thread. The question is, do we actually think this is a serious issue for the non-thread SNAC router use case? Because if it's not, maybe we should just take this section out. Because it seems kind of onerous to have to track this information, and it seems like there's likely to be an application-specific mitigation for this. Like if you've got a device that's acting as like a PAN, it's basically a SNAC router for your personal area network. So as you wander around the world, you know, your iPhone or whatever provides connectivity to the other devices on that you're carrying with you to whatever network you happen to attach to using this SNAC routing mechanism. There's going to be another SNAC router that whose prefix you're going to need to remember. So in fact, even the scenario here is actually specific to thread. So given that the scenario is specific to thread and we solve the problem a different way in thread, I think giving people advice to do this, given that this didn't work for us, seems like a mistake. So I think we should just take this section out.
Okay, I'm just making a comment here in the PR to say that it's remembering the prefix is not needed.
Yeah. It's kind of funny that we hit this while we were working on something entirely different, but.
So for this PR, it should not matter.
Yeah. Well, actually, why don't I add an issue about that while you're doing while you're doing your.
This is basically the change. So we went through all the parts now. So yeah, so I can update that by just using the RFC 4861 names for it, and then we need less well, concept names in that case. So that should be good.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, and maybe move to the next one. This should be simpler, I think. So this was more of a rename action. So neighbor table is now neighbor cache, just like in 4861. So that should be good, I think. Any objections?
Well, simply like the second case with uppercase N and T, while the first case is all small cases. So any difference there?
Yeah, I think we had another PR to kind of fix that, so the different cases. Of course, this will now mess it up a bit again, but I think we use lowercase for most things. And if it's particular message names, like if we say router advertisement message, then it's with capitals, so RA or router advertisement. So if it's specific to a message name, and this is not a message name at least, so could be in lowercase, I think. And 4861 uses capitals for neighbor cache. I saw that. So you could choose either way, but I think we have lowercase for most of these terms. So if you want, I can also make this lowercase here. Then
for me, we can keep consistent probably.
Yeah.
Because
okay. I'll just make a note in trim. All right. Let's see. Okay, this is also a bigger change. That was driven by an issue, basically. Like, which one was that? 190. Maybe we should have a quick look at the issue. So there was basically a comment about if you have a mesh network and then it splits in two parts, then every part or partition, as it's called, gets a different prefix. So far so good, but then the mesh network merges again later on due to radio connectivity changes. And then you end up with a single stub network and a single partition, but it has two basically stub network prefixes on the mesh. So always in our prefixes, there are two of them. We had some text saying, okay, then you have to basically get rid of one so that only one remains, but that's not necessarily the case for all stub network technologies. So the comment was, well, you could just keep two prefixes or even maybe 3 or 4, it doesn't matter. It's more robust to keep that and not throw it away immediately. So thread has a bit of a sort of a problem that it wants to keep the network data small in size. So there they will probably have some mechanism to deprecate one prefix and keep the other one. So these are some old comments here. I think this was the one that triggered the pull request. So should we even talk about partitions? Yeah, my take was, well, we can mention partitions. So that's basically this one here. Could mention that the technology used for Stub Network could have these behaviors, but not say anything normative about that, because it's in the scope of that technology how exactly to solve that. So that's the background for this rewording of the session. So let me see. Oh, it already got reviewed. Thanks, Darren. That's great. So the main thing is that the section name has also changed. So it has a new focus. So instead of focusing on partitioning events specifically, it's handling any kind of failure and change situations in Stub Network. So it's basically saying that if you have a technology that does allow SNAC routers to cooperate, so multiple on the same Stub Network, then it needs to comply to a certain number of requirements. Maybe that's taking it a bit too far, but that was what I had in mind. So that means the technology should solve these issues, like if it's thread, for example, then thread needs to solve these issues. Otherwise, you can't meet the requirements of SNAC routers. So it should be possible to, for example, add a new SNAC router to the Stub Network, or power one down while the rest takes over, or you remove it completely, or you just power cycle the thing. It should also work with that. Or if one SNAC router fails, the idea is, I hope that like other ones take over, so that it still works, because the other one takes over the job, for example, of advertising the prefixes as needed. So these are sort of basic requirements without saying how the technology should solve it.
Yeah.
That is.
So you can't have normative language here if you don't say how to do it. So you can't say must here.
Yeah, maybe this
I would suggest just saying
No.
these are the things that you have to. These are the problems you will have to solve for this use case.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And they're out of scope for this document.
Yeah. Yeah, that we do say if we don't specify how to achieve this. Okay, that's good. And then I'll add that, which is fine. And then it explains, so I didn't want to throw away the text we had, so it still explains kind of that some technologies like wireless mesh can have these partition things. Let's see. So that looks like two discrete links, basically. And this also explains a bit more that you can have this OSNR prefix. So that uses this terminology a bit better, I think. Yeah, the question is about this must here. There is another must.
No, yeah. So isn't all this kind of like informational about different implementations? Yes. So, I mean, realistically, you could just delete it all and say, should the first text on the requirements it could be something like stub routers need to look after things like A, B, C, D. These are all out of scope for this document, and relevant to the Stub Network technology, right? And then delete the text and not worry about it. Would that impact interoperability? Because I think all the Stub Network protocols are well defined. So
yeah, they should define that for themselves. I think the idea was to have this more in. Yeah, this came from the this must came from the previous text, so I didn't remove it. But I think it's best to remove them. But could delete all partition details or keep it informative. So I think the idea was that you kind of want to provide hints to implementers of the stub routers for specific technology, how to solve that, or to at least make them aware that they need to solve it, and also present a way they could solve it. So I think this is the.
But the technology is already solving it, right? If it's 6LoWPAN or Thread, they're already solving those scenarios, are they not? Or is there new things that aren't solved in those technologies?
Yeah, let me think. 6LoWPAN in general, that's kind of unknown because there are multiple standards for that. So the IETF does define a particular standard using 6LoWPAN, so it's called 6TiSCH. This is kind of more interoperable set of protocols together. And there's also other standards using 6LoWPAN. So yeah, couldn't say about that if they solve it. Maybe we should look for Thread. That's a good point. I think it does solve it, and that's basically. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ted, but I think it was about picking the numerically lowest prefix. So that's the thing here, the part here, presented as an example strategy. If you need to reduce, you basically pick the numerically lowest one.
Yep.
And yeah, the question is, do we want to drop that hint or not? If you want to drop the hint, you first need to explain the problem. So, but there's a lot of text, I agree. So.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the question is whether we want to include information that we've learned in the Thread stub router implementation for the benefit of other implementers. And it sort of seems like we ought to, but it probably is this in an appendix now, or is this in the main text?
This is the main section now, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we should just move it to an appendix, because I think it is useful to share.
Yeah, so I think that would be good. Yeah, I thought also it's useful to share, but it's not really like part of the normative thing if we decide to. Yeah. Okay. So should I update it there, and then we put it in appendix, and then kind of explain this, and then perhaps review it there as well. Again.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that. I'll just add the comments here, and then I've captured it. Get some suggestion here. Okay, I will look at that. All right, and we have this one, final PR. Oh yeah, so updated MO actions.
So I think this was our last discussion on this, was to remove this max flags copy time. And simply say that, just send out whatever you got last, and don't try to get fancy.
Yeah, and don't, if the things are kind of expired, then you completely ignore them, right? So that's, Yeah, I think we did say that. So.
So I think we don't want to copy SNAC router MNO bits, though, right? We want to copy the most recent MNO bits we've seen from a non-SNAC router.
That's correct. Yeah, that's what the text is saying now. Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah.
So after reboot, no recent RSA but has been received from the SNAC router, the values received. No, this is saying the opposite.
This avoid. Oh, I was editing to the diffs. Okay, let me update that right now.
Yeah.
All right, skip this. Come back to it in 5 minutes.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we're out of PRs now, so we can look at the issues then. I see new one from Ted. So this is the right what we just discussed, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we need to cover that again unless you desperately want to.
Okay, so restart.
Oh, that should that be assigned? I mean, yeah, you can assign that to me.
Yeah, I can put it here. Okay, that was about this, right. The final paragraph, I think we discussed this one. Okay, then there's another one, 521. Is that the same section? I'll just look it up quickly. 521. Yeah, that's the same section. Maintenance across SNAC router restart. So I was just saying here, it seems to be in the wrong place because it only talks about prefixes on the AIL. And the 5.2 is basically addresses for the stub network. So I couldn't really understand why 521 is under 5.2 actually. Okay. Unless I read it wrong, but it seems to be only talking about on-link prefixes for the AIL, infrastructure link. So that was a bit puzzling to me. So the thing was, proposal was maybe we should just move the entire section. And this is only quoting the parts that are specific to AILs here.
Okay, so 521 is the one that we just said we were going to delete.
Yeah. Well, I think I didn't realize you want to delete the whole thing. I was, I think, focusing on a specific part of that. I think we focused on a specific paragraph there, if I remember correctly.
Okay, so I was actually proposing to delete the whole thing because this is an issue that we observed with thread border routers in the scenario where you have multiple thread border routers, but it's a fairly specific scenario to thread. It's not to say that it can't happen with a SNAC router, because certainly we allow there to be more than one SNAC router leading to the same SNAC network. But the only use case that we actually know of for that right now is thread. Like if you were to do this with some other router, it would probably be a singleton, right? It would be forming its own Wi-Fi SNAC network, stub network. Right. So then the need for this would go away. So I think this is just like, it's not that this can't ever be a problem for anyone else. It's just that the solution that we came up with isn't this. And this solution actually didn't work. So I think we should just not recommend it. And I think that means I suppose we could change this rather than deleting it so that we just talk about the issue. But we can't really propose a solution for that here. All we can do is sort of say, here are some things you could do based on your particular application. And we could use thread as an example. So maybe that's the thing to do here rather than deleting the section. Which doesn't address your original question though, which is, does this belong here?
Yeah, it seems like 5.1 scope more, because it talks about infrastructure link, and I think the one I focused on the paragraph is this one I highlighted. So there was about the flash writing, etc. So that's one aspect of it, but I think it's all in support of this whole entire paragraph. So this first explains the problem and then provides a solution, and then says something thread specific here at the end.
Sorry, a delivery just showed up, so I had to run downstairs.
Oh, really? Okay. Did I just hear the delivery person? Maybe.
Yep.
I heard someone.
Yeah. If you heard a diesel engine, that was also the delivery truck.
Okay, no, that I didn't hear. So.
Okay.
Okay, good. Yeah, so the idea was delete it entirely or rephrase. So maybe you need to make a PR then for that issue to highlight what you want to do with it.
Yeah, so I'm actually updating the maintenance across SNAC writer restarts issue.
Yeah.
So we've observed that this section may not be under the right heading. AIL versus
Unless
still addressing.
if there's some maintenance to do for the on stub prefix, basically, then it could be here, but then we need another section in the other addressing section for the AIL.
Yeah.
Say what to do there. Or if you want to, you may need to make it a separate section altogether so that it's not under one of these. But okay, I'll remove this one again.
Yeah, I mean, it could also just go in an appendix, and that would then we could just make it more generic. But so I've updated the SNAC router restarts issue to track the points that you just raised.
Okay. So I'll add you to this one because it's kind of part of the same thing.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, there's another one. Yeah, just an observation that talks about stub network reachable time, and it says the reachable time will be specified in route information options. Yeah, so we do have a route lifetime field here, but not reachable time. So I thought it would be good to be a bit more explicit there if we mean,
yeah,
basically that, yeah, that's a route lifetime value that will be specified in the RAO. And this is maybe a bit too much text, but at least trying to explain what it has to do with reachable. So it's not the neighbor discovery reachable time, but it is basically something for the stub network to say, okay, how long is this reachable via this route?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a route lifetime for the stub network.
Yep.
And I think this first sentence kind of already clarifies it a bit better. So saying that this goes into the route lifetime field.
So the route lifetime field, I think, is not relative to the last received RA message. So the sentence that you highlighted there is saying what the route lifetime value. Oh, I see. So okay, so so the reach. So I would maybe this feels like it's confusing to me. So I think what you, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what you intend to say here is that the stub network reachable time is computed by subtracting the last received time, subtracting the time between now and the last received RA message from the route lifetime that was in that RA message. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's actually the first sentence is basically saying, okay, you take the 30 minutes and you put it in the route lifetime field as in seconds. I think it needs to be in, and that's it.
Okay, so I don't know that that's actually what was originally intended. What this was originally intended to mean, though. So
Yeah, because it says here that this is the original text. So it says reachable time that will be specified in route information options. So it needs to be some field in the RIO.
okay, so route information. So an active SNAC router always provides a route information option for each prefix that is valid on the stub network, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so that's okay. So there's a place where we just wait. So the reachable time that will be specified in. All right. So looking at the previous line, max suitable reachable time is the maximum reachable time value that a router can have in the neighbor table before any suitable prefixes it has advertised are no longer considered suitable. And then the next one is stub network reachable lifetime, the reachable time that will be specified. And so this just doesn't seem consistent. I'm not sure what this is for.
Yeah, but the top one is something different. This is reachable time is a concept from neighbor discovery. Basically.
Yeah.
And the lower one is not related to that.
So I don't think that we should call this the same thing. I think that this should be stub network route lifetime or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then
because
makes
I
sense.
actually have a constant like this in my code, but it doesn't mean what it says here, and that's part of why I'm confused.
Okay, we'll maybe comment. Can you rename to what you say? Stub network route.
Stub network route lifetime.
Lifetime. Okay, maybe that's better. Then we don't need to talk about reachable in the end. So yeah. Okay, then maybe I can make something for that. Sounds easy enough, so I'll take it.
Yeah. Thanks.
Could you go back to the pull requests, Esco, and just take a look at that MO one quickly again?
Yes, that's here.
That's just straight to the right. Yeah. That's the one.
All right. Oh, there's no deleted text, so that's flex copy time. Yeah, so it's just saying that. Okay.
Is that what we wanted to see? Just don't, because the other text was there saying, well, if you reboot, when they go and snoop around at stub routers, and copy them. But this text just says, when you boot up, set everything to 0. Wait till you see wait till you get an RA receive from a non-SNAC router, and then copy whatever it says, and use the most recent one.
Yeah. So here's basically the copy part above.
Yeah.
From a non-SNAC router, and then saying, okay, if there's no RA from non-SNAC router, then clear the flags.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that looks good.
Okay. All right. If that's good, then I'll push that one.
Yeah. So we'll let's do that. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. So we just had this one. This is interesting. So I think we already resolved this one, but I just wanted to bring it up for the interim, just to make sure. So this was the question, like, okay, do we need to talk at all about the IPv6 address assignment for the SNAC router itself? So suppose it wants to have an address itself for whatever reason, then it could use Slack or the IPv6 if that's available. So
we're talking about on the AIL?
Yeah, that's on the AIL side. Yes, definitely.
Okay, so actually on the AIL, since it's a router, I think all of the communication that it does as a router is from its link local address. So it doesn't actually need any other address,
Right.
I think.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we can just assume that the stack, like whatever the stack does should be fine.
Mhm.
You know, if it needs to
Yeah.
communicate on the local link and the local link is v4 only, then it'll use IPv4 to communicate.
It's like if it has a web interface or so, it needs to configure something, but we don't care maybe what that is.
Yeah.
And how that works. So, and then yeah, that was, I think that's common. So you don't need to say anything about all because it's covered by existing specifications.
Yeah. In fact, if we say something, we're going to get in trouble.
Yeah, right. Just call the applicable IETF best current practice.
Yeah.
And then you figure out which one.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. So I just wanted to check that. So if people are okay with that, then I can type agree to not.
Oh, so the collection of people here are you, me, the two working group chairs, and
Yes.
then Karsten and Michael are on Zulip only, which I don't know if I assume that they can hear us, or else this would be very boring for them.
Well, no, it's also they automatically log in via Zulip whenever this meeting is.
So they might not be here at all.
Yeah, no, it's just fully automatic, only text messages, I think.
Oh wait.
Okay, good to know. Bye.
We've lost Michael though, so I don't know what happened there.
That
You heard us.
coincidence.
His ears were burning.
Interesting, but yeah, I thought it was chat only or so. Yeah, Zulip is the chat app, not
Yeah.
And they join.
So, I mean, in principle, all these decisions that we're making need to be reviewed by the working group, but I think that we can just review them in the form of here's the document update. Please read it over and let us know how you feel about it.
I think that's the best to do. Yeah.
Because if people were like desperately concerned, they would be here.
Right. Yeah. If there are big changes, then you can highlight it in an email, but it needs to be really big. Yeah. Okay. And I can close this with comma read. Okay, so this one was 5 days ago. Did have some input already. So this was about something we encountered during testing. Basically, that if you take the DHCP prefix delegated prefix, then it needs to have some sort of minimum suitable lifetime. At least that was what the implementation was doing. It was using 30 minutes as a minimum there. The idea is that anything that's lower is too unstable, so I'd rather just put my own ULAP prefix in there for the Stub Network addresses. Yeah, so the question was, okay, do we have something like this minimum? Do we need to define it better in document? And it turns out there was something defined in the document. So there was a constant, this one, prefix delegation interval. So it was kind of setting a value, but it was not used or referenced anywhere.
Yep. So I thought I had shared. Oh yeah. No, I just quoted Fernando's draft. So. Yeah. Interesting. So Fernando's draft is talking about an interval of 300 seconds. We're using an interval of 180 seconds, which is not quite, it's a bit more than half. So 2,700, let's see, 2,700, we're going to take times 180 divided by 180 divided by
Okay,
300.
45 minutes.
Well, actually, so the interval that I get when I do the math based on Fernando's analysis is 1620 seconds. So, and I think that the interval that we actually defined is 1800 seconds. So I think that we're actually in spec if we say 1800 seconds, which is a half hour. And I think that the conclusion would be that I'm just looking at your last comment. I think 30 minutes should be okay, actually, based on the constants we're using. And the thing about short release times, if you've got 10 or 20 SNAC routers and they're all requesting prefix delegation and aren't switched on at the same time, then it's going to fail however it fails. I don't think that we can actually fix that. Like
Right.
if we use lower lifetimes, it just makes things worse. And we're basically making things worse all the time in order to solve a problem that happens rarely.
Yep.
And
Okay.
if we really wanted to solve this problem, a better way to solve it would be to have the devices collaborate. So,
Right.
Everybody just agrees on what DUID to use, and everybody asks for the same prefix. So.
Yeah, okay, that gets a bit complicated. No, I think the main comment was here that if basically, I think if you want to have at a minimum 30 minutes, but you're also happy with 6 hours or 3 days, then it's maybe not the smartest idea to ask specifically for 30 minutes. It's better not to ask at all. There's even existing text in the drafts saying this. There's no particular reason for SNAC router to specify this interval. So I'm not sure if you can leave it blank in the request and just leave it up to the server, whatever they want to give you.
That's an interesting question.
But at least, if you want 30, then maybe you should ask, just give me something or more than 30 minutes. Yeah. Otherwise, you might get less.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better to have 3 hours. Probably it's more stable. So why ask for 30 minutes? So I think that was common. So it's better if you can avoid asking for a specific lifetime, then avoid that. I don't know if it's possible, but
I mean, it's kind of a non-issue, really, because if you request a valid so suppose it has to work if the valid lifetime is 30 minutes, right? Then the way that it is going to work is that we're going to request a DHCP lease renewal from time to time during those 30 minutes. Hopefully, we'll always get one. There's no reason why we wouldn't. And so suppose the server has a maximum of 600, and we ask for 30 and we get 30. Well, there's two things that could happen. One is we ask for 30 and we get 600 because the server wants us. And in fact, that's what I would expect to happen.
okay.
But even if we get 30, then it has to work. I mean, like if that's not going to work, then we shouldn't be asking for 30. And so therefore, if we get 30, we're just going to keep renewing it. And so it's actually ultimately going to last for however long it lasts, which might be, days. So there's actually no real reason to ask for a longer lifetime because, we have to support the shorter lifetime anyway.
Okay.
But if we get the longer lifetime, we'll just handle it, right?
Okay. That was your expectation that if the server wants you to use longer because of whatever reason, traffic optimization, then it would just give you a longer lifetime. Yeah. No, I'm just thinking, like, what would a server developer do? Like, okay, I asked for 30. Oh, well, that's fine. You get 30. That's the most obvious thing a server developer would do.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess the other thing is we could just ask for infinity, which is a thing you can do. That's just sending a 0x, 8Fs. And if we do that, then we're going to get whatever the longest prefix is that the server is willing to give, the longest valid lifetime the server is willing to give.
Right.
If that number is less than 30, then it also would have been less than 30 if we'd asked for 30.
Right. That's right.
And so I think maybe that was the original point that I kind of missed. And so if it's less than 30, we actually shouldn't use it, I think.
Yeah, no, that's the minimum. Let's say that's what we wanted to clarify here.
Right. Okay, so here's the additional thing that we're sort of missing because, DHCP is something we use less than we used to. When you ask for a DHCP lease, the way it works is you send a DHCP solicit and you get offers back from the server. So there's no commitments been made at that point. So the server is going to tell you what lifetime it's going to give you.
Right.
So at that point, if the server says that the lifetime it's going to give you is 20, then you just don't request it.
Mm-hmm.
And if nobody offers you a lifetime that's 30 or more, then you just don't use DHCP v6 PD.
Right.
And there's no harm, no foul because nobody's allocated anything yet.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So, yeah. So that's it. That's what we do.
Yeah. No, I just thought that maybe if you can specify a time, and if the server would kind of dutifully follow that, then it could be better to just ask for 3 hours because you get less of that renewal traffic on the network, which.
Yeah, absolutely. No, in fact, I would say ask for infinity because then we'll get the maximum the server's willing to give us, and that means okay. The sort of the diminishing returns aspect of this is that if we think devices are going to reboot like on the order of once a day, and they ask for infinite leases and get them, then we're going to run out of leases pretty quickly. If different devices do the same thing. So there is something to be said for keeping it capped at some reasonable interval. So I think, you were suggesting 600 minutes, it's 10 hours. I think that's plenty. I don't see any reason why that wouldn't be enough. Or I can't remember what maybe you said 300, but either way, I think that's plenty.
I think I said 6 hours for
6 hours, yeah.
Just a random something, but yeah. Okay, right, so, okay. So there's definitely a difference in the kind of what you would request and what you find minimally suitable. So, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Are you good on that one, or?
Yeah, I can maybe try to make some text on that. Let's see, what did you say? 6 hours, or you can always tune that later.
Yep.
No, I think we don't need to say much about that. And then 30 minutes, still the minimum acceptable offer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think it's worth saying, if you get an offer for less than that, don't request it, just to make sure that they don't, because, if they do a stupid implementation, they might go all the way through to the end and get the lease and then use it, which we don't want.
Yeah, then it's not allocated, yeah. All right. It should be okay. Check. Right. So I think we went through all the new issues now.
Mm-hmm.
There was still this item state machine. I think that was the proposal you made last time, right?
Yeah, so we talked about that last time. Did we talk about better way to resolve multiple AILs? I sort of think we did. The status on the state machine layout is it's been, I'm right in the middle of this week is the last week of a 4-week development cycle where I have to get everything done that's getting done during these 4 weeks, or else it doesn't get into the release. Yeah. So I've been not accomplishing much on other things, including this during this period. Next week is after the deadline, and so hopefully it will be less stressed next week. I can't remember. Do we have a meeting next week?
We do have one scheduled. Yes, Tuesday.
Tuesday. Okay, so I guess I will try to actually. I made a little bit of progress on this, but just not a lot. So I'll try to get to the point where I actually have something to present on this, because I think it's kind of our last remaining big thing.
Significant thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and it would
It
be
is.
awfully nice if we could have all of the remaining significant things resolved, so that when we go to IETF, we just get the working group's approval. And
Yeah, I think you could ask for a last call at that point confidently.
Yep. Yeah, I will say the change is going to be fairly significant, though, so it's going to require some careful review. I know you did a very careful review, Darren, of the NAT64 state machine. It's going to need like that level of review, so we shouldn't assume that it's going to be quick and easy.
Yeah. Look forward to it.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, so you mentioned this one specifically, Ted, so we did discuss that was kind of the fallback solution. So if you do get multiple AILs, then for SNAC Simple, we don't necessarily want everything to work on every AIL, but we need sort of a sensible fallback. So that's, I think that's something like whatever is the main AIL, if we can identify such a thing, it needs to keep working, and the second one then maybe has just less features in that sense. So that this relates to addressing as well as discovery, service discovery. Yeah, so I think that was still not assigned yet. So I think do you think it depends on the state machine thing, Ted, before someone can work on this? Or
It kind of does, yeah.
because that would maybe help.
I mean, in a sense that this needs to be in the state machine. So you should probably just assign this to me, and I'll see what comes out. And then there may be additional work to do after that, but at least I can make the first pass at it.
Yeah, I think we did already say somewhere like, hey, this depends on the state machine. That was, I think, here somewhere. Yeah, this part, so that's okay. Yeah, and then there's a couple things we already assigned. So here for doing editorial fixes, for example, but those I didn't get around to yet, so that's for the next time. Or a next time. Let's see how far I get. I don't want to promise to do all of them in a week, but I'll try to do some more. Okay, so anything else for today that people want to bring up, or?
No.
Good.
No, yeah, also fine for me then.
Okay.
Meet again next week.
Thanks, everyone. See you next week.
Okay.
Okay, great. See you next week.
We'll
Okay. Take care.
talk to you then. Bye.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
bye.